did such a good job on the scout team that he kind of caught our eye. He's a big athletic guy, and so we wanted to make the switch to give him the rest of the season and give him a foundation leading into the off season.
Have you done this before with anybody in your various stops?
Man, I don't think so this late in the season, no. We have done it before, though, with guys, but it's been something that's been more of an off-season deal. You guys got a lot of questions there.
We're waiting for Pelissero to get us started, you know.
I try to be deferring to you guys. I don't want to give them away.
Matt, when you look at what Preston has given you, I mean, we all kind of, you know, Za'Darius has obviously got a more flamboyant personality. What do you think Preston's given you, first of all, obviously with his production and his play, but also his role in that locker room culture that you've talked about so much?
Yeah, I think he's done a great job in both phases. Obviously, the production kind of speaks for itself, and but just his presence in the locker room, I think he's a good influence, a good leader for those young guys. I think you know, when he speaks, I think guys listen, and just we're fortunate to have him.
There's been a lot of teams that spent a lot of money in free agency over the years, and oftentimes it doesn't work out. What did you guys do right in that regard between you and Goody and pinpointing some of these guys?
Well, you look at the guys that we got. I mean, first of all, they've all been available all season long with the two Smith brothers and Adrian Amos, Billy Turner, and they produced at a high level, all of those guys. So anytime you're able to get guys in free agency and integrate them within your team, and then those are some of our best leaders as well, I think all those guys were home runs.
Was that part of the process, was leadership, or was that just a nice byproduct of getting talented guys?
No, I think that's always a part of it. You know, you want to see what these guys are all about, and you ask around, try to get a feel for who they are as people. Because I think if you get, I think at the end of the day, this is a game. Obviously, you got to have talented players, but when you combine that with the right person, I mean, you can't have enough of those types of guys.
Not even you call them the Smith brothers, huh? You know,
that was for you guys.
With Jair, he said how I think the two games he's really struggled in, and he's admitted it, so the Cowboys game and the Chargers game. And then after each of those, he's gone on a stretch of really good games. Have you been impressed with how he's kind of rebounded from those struggles to go on and have a pretty good season?
Yeah, I think that's life as a corner in the National Football League, especially when you're an aggressive corner that can go up, and we ask a lot of them, you know, in terms of that's hard, that's tough to do, and you got to be a resilient. You have to have a resilient mindset, because I don't care what corner you're talking about. At some point in time, you're going to get beat, and it's how you bounce back. And I've been so impressed with him. I love how he competes on a daily basis. He challenges our guys out there at practice every day, but certainly in the games, he does the same thing. And you know, like I said, there's going to be times where you get beat, and it's just how do you respond? And he's responded well.
Man, when you've gotten inside the 5-yard line, your record's pretty good about putting it into the end zone. But at the 1, you know, the first play, running it in, the record has not been as good. I was wondering, does that concern you? I mean, is there a part of you that says that's going to come up at some point where we're going to have to get a 1 yard just pounding the ball? And I mean, I think you have 3 fourth down and ones where you weren't able to get it to. Do those things correspond, and do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, you think about everything, and you're always looking and how can we. Sometimes it's just, you know, you got to come up with a better scheme in terms of what you're asking your guys to do, because if somebody wants to take something away, they definitely can do that, and you better have a good answer for whatever the defense presents to you to counteract what they're trying to get done. So certainly we could have been better, or what I mentioned, could have had a better scheme in those situations. And then there's sometimes where, you know, our guys gotta man up and make the play.
Was an example of the scheme part with Mercedes Lewis where they just it looked like they covered every gap practically on the line of scrimmage, and then you went to Mercedes Lewis and got the touchdown on the one?
Yeah, and still, that was an unbelievable play by those two guys. But yeah, we had a little built-in audible, and we weren't necessarily anticipating an all-out zero blitz in that situation, but we knew it was going to be man coverage, and thank God he made the right decision there and Aaron was able to break through basically a sack and get the ball out. It was an incredible play by those two guys.
Is big dog, big dog, big dog, is that the audible or is that?
You'll never know. I can't give away that, but yeah, I mean, it was pretty obvious on tape, right?
Matt, obviously the priority for the last 4 games is to win them all and go into the playoffs on a roll. I'm not asking against that. I'm curious though, philosophically, when you get to late in the season, do you want to get some young guys that maybe haven't played a ton, a little bit of experience where you can, Gary's played, 20-some snaps maybe a game or something like that, maybe even less. Is that something that you want to try and find ways to do while in the process of trying to win the last 4 games?
Yeah, but again, and I know this is boring for you guys, but it's 1-0, and our mindset is no further than the Washington Redskins, because you look at a team that's won 2 games in a row. They were down 14-0 at Carolina and showed the resiliency to battle back and win that game. I don't think you can look any further than what you have right in front of you, and you got to take it a day at a time and do your best each and every day in order for the results to go where you want them to go. But that's the only way I feel like we can look at that.
Devontae's been a full participant in practice the past couple of days, according to the injury report. I know he's a veteran player. He's obviously been productive even when he's been limited, but how much of it all is that helping him just to continue to incrementally get healthier here?
Yeah, I think he's done a great job when he's been out there, and he is getting healthier. I think it's at this point of the season, I think everybody pretty much that steps on that field is battling through something. But he's been diligent in his approach and making sure he's doing the right things to get his body as good as it can be. I think that speaks to the majority of that locker room. We got a lot of guys that go about their business the right way, and I think that's part of the reason why we're as healthy as we are, along with some luck, like I said yesterday.
Are you a bulletin board material guy? Do you believe in there being any value to that, or not really?
I mean, not. It just depends on what's said, I guess.
So can I give you something?
Sure.
You can tell me if this qualifies. So John Bostic told the Washington Post that their defensive goal is to put the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hands and make him beat them. The quote is even saying, you always preach you're stopping the run, make a team one-dimensional. Just like making a team one-dimensional and putting the ball in the best player's hands, do you really want to do that? But that's their goal for the game. What do you think of a strategy where you're saying, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to think of being told that they want to put the ball in his hands?
I don't know what he's going to think about that, to be honest. But you guys will certainly have an opportunity to ask him.
Well, not between now and game time, unless you want to make him available.
You can ask him after the game.
We're not going to end on that, are we? That was really pathetic. I'm curious about Aaron Jones's production, if I can ask a real football question after that bomb the way it did.
That didn't bomb. It's my fault.
He obviously had 15 touches, but not a ton of production. Do you want to get him more involved differently this week, or do you think that was a weather-related thing? What do you think happened last week, and how do you use him this week?
Yeah, it was just one of those deals. Every game can play out a little bit differently. I think he is such an explosive player, though. We're certainly going to always try to get the ball in his hands and try to find different ways to do that. But to try to get him out in space, that's the goal each and every week. And it's just that's part of the planning. How is the best way to do that?
Was there a guy you can play at any of the wideout positions that you have?
Yeah, he's got a full grasp of everything we're trying to do. So when you have guys like that, it makes it a lot easier on us because you can plug them in whatever position we need them, X, F, Z, it doesn't matter. And he's got such a great grasp of, like I said, what we're trying to get done.
Have you noticed, do teams understand that he's a pretty good run blocker too? Can you see that with defenses, that they pick up on that at all, or is that not really decipherable?
Well, if they watch the tape, I would say that they would know that going in. I mean, he's done a great job. He's tenacious, not only in the run game, but also on special teams as well. He's been a really good player for us.